Then let's talk about Afghanistan. Right now, probably close to 2,200 Americans killed, thousands of Afghans killed, close to $1 trillion spent in Afghanistan, and with the idea that America's core political objective in Afghanistan was largely met by early 2002. So with all these numbers, right, the idea that counterinsurgency worked, when you juxtapose that idea to all those numbers, seems kind of far-fetched. But the idea that counterinsurgency works is still alive. And it continues. And it continues because it's based on a story, or a narrative. And that narrative basically says that wars of counterinsurgency can be won as long as the hidebound, conventionally minded armies that are fighting these wars are transformed by savior generals who get these armies to refocus themselves to doing the proper methods of counterinsurgency. This narrative is the stock explanation for much of the writing that has been done on Iraq and Afghanistan. And in my view, American strategy since 2002 has been in need of some serious review and criticism in Afghanistan. I think it's been broken. I think American strategy in Afghanistan has been broken from the start. Think about it this way. In war, you have two things. Over on this side here is something called policy. And policy, just like Clausewitz says, puts war into place and gives it its objective, its political purpose. Like for the United States, the overall political objective in World War II was unconditional surrender. In the American Civil War, for Lincoln, it was to keep the Union together and then later to end slavery. That's policy that puts war into place. And then over here on this side, you have the resources of war. And oftentimes the resources of war are tactical military activity, where platoons, battalions, divisions fight. There are other resources of war too, right, including tactical military action. So you have policy over here, and you have the resources of war over here, like tactical military action. And then in the middle, kind of in like this conceptual place, is this thing called strategy. And if strategy is done right, what it should do is look to policy to see what the policy aim for the war is, and then look to the resources of war to apply those resources, like tactical military action, to achieve policy aims at the least amount of blood and treasure spent. If a state does strategy right in war, it should get an A, or at least a B plus. I think American strategy in Afghanistan has failed.